Hello Primary 3S and Primary 3D. How was your long weekend? We've been so lucky with this sunny weather, haven't we? I hope you've been out enjoying lovely long walks with your family. I know we've been discovering so many different paths. It's been great. Well, what about Granny's medicine? I didn't expect that. She was swelling so much she nearly exploded and grew and grew and grew until her head popped through the house. And that little brown hen. I never ever imagined the hen would get the medicine too. What do you think's going to happen next? Shall we find out? The pig, the bullocks, the sheep, the pony and the nanny goat. At that moment, George's mother came back from shopping in the village. She drove her car into the yard and got out. She was carrying a bottle of milk in one hand and a bag of groceries in the other. The first thing she saw was the gigantic brown hen towering over little George. She dropped the bottle of milk. Then Grandma started shouting at her from the rooftop, and when she looked up and saw Grandma's head sticking up through the tiles, she dropped the bag of groceries. "How about that then, eh, Mary?" Grandma shouted. "I'll bet you've never seen a hen as big as that." "That's George's giant hen, that is." But, stammered George's mother. "It's George's magic medicine," Grandma shouted. "We've both had it, the hen and I." "But how in the world did you get up on the roof?" cried Mother. "I didn't," cackled the old woman. "My feet are still standing on the floor in the living room." This was too much for George's mother to understand. She just goggled and gaped. She looked as if she was going to faint. A second later, George's father appeared. His name was Mr. Killiecrankie. Mr. Crankie was a small man with bandy legs and a huge head. He was a kind father to George, but he was not an easy person to live with, because even the smallest of things got him all worked up and excited. The hen standing in the yard was certainly not a small thing, and when Mr. Crankie saw it, he started jumping about as though something was burning his feet. "Great heavens!" he cried, waving his arms. "What's this? What's happened? Where did it come from? It's a giant hen! Who did it?" "I did," George said. "Look at me!" Grandma shouted from the rooftop. "Never mind about the hen. What about me?" Mr. Crankie looked up and saw Grandma. "Be quiet, Grandma," he said. It didn't seem to surprise him that the old girl was sticking up through the roof. It was the hen that excited him. He had never seen anything like it. But then who had? "It's fantastic!" Mr. Crankie shouted, dancing round and round. "It's colossal! It's gigantic! It's tremendous! It's a miracle!" "How did you do it, George?" George started telling his father about the magic medicine. While he was doing this, the big brown hen sat down in the middle of the yard and went cluck, 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 cluck. Everyone stared at it. When it stood up, what do you think there was, boys and girls? Yes, a brown egg lying there. The egg was the size of a football. "That egg would make scrambled eggs for 20 people, Mrs. Crankie said. "George," Mr. Crankie shouted, "how much of this medicine have you got?" "Lots," George said. "There's a big saucepan full in the kitchen, and this bottle here's nearly full." "Come with me," Mr. Crankie yelled, grabbing George by the arm. "Bring the medicine. For years and years I've been trying to breed bigger and bigger animals, bigger bulls for beef, bigger pigs for pork, bigger sheep for mutton." They went to the pigsty first. George gave a spoonful of medicine to the pig. The pig blew smoke from its nose and jumped about all over the place. Then it grew and it grew. In the end, it looked like this. Oh my goodness, boys and girls. Poor Grandma, she's still up on the roof. They went to the herd of the fine black bullocks that Mr Cranky was trying to fatten for the market. George gave each of them some medicine, and this is what happened. Can you see? I think Mr Cranky's getting excited. Then the sheep. Look how tiny they were there. Look at the size of them now. He gave some to his grey pony, Jack Frost. And finally, just for fun, he gave some to Alma, the nanny goat. Remember what happened when Grandma first got her medicine? It was like she was on fire. She was jumping around. Look how happy she is now. Wow, boys and girls, I did not expect that was going to happen, did you? Well, we'll find out what's going to happen next. A Crane for Grandma, and it will be read by Miss Duffy. I really hope you enjoy. Speak to you soon. Bye.